What's up, paddlers? Welcome back to Paddles Up. My name is Ray.
My name's Jeff.
And today we're excited to review the new paddle by Hornet Watersports, the Sting Plus. Thank you so much to Hornet for providing the paddle to us for our review. And full disclosure here, we will be giving our full unbiased review of this paddle. So let's dive in.
Let's dive into it. So I think we want to first jump in and talk about just our initial impressions. Ray, you go first. You tell me, what did you think when you picked up this Sting Plus paddle from Hornet?
Okay, first thing I thought was this thing is gorgeous. Just like all of Hornet's paddles, they have a way of printing onto this carbon fiber and just getting this crisp, beautiful image every time. And they provided us with, I'm gonna pull this up here, their new sticker adventure paddle, which everyone who has seen this has had a very strong positive reaction to it. It's just such a fun new addition to their catalog. Right away, I noticed that the shaft is much more matte and grippy than the original Sting paddle. The old paddle had more of a glossy finish, and this one is more matte, more grippy, behaves a little bit nicer in the water. It's definitely an improvement on their old Sting design. We also noticed that this paddle is quite stiff and not bendy, in contrast to their old Sting paddle. Depending on your paddle style, this could either be a positive or a negative, but it is something that we noticed right out of the gate, that this is a fairly unyielding, stiff blade. How about you, Jeff?
This sushi piece had me right here from the beginning. I was like, yes, this is it. This is the one. Love this paddle. The first thing that I noticed is it's a little heftier than the old Sting paddle, the old Hornet paddle that I used to have. I used to have an old adjustable paddle with the Allen wrench. They still sell that one, the Allen wrench, but it's now with the new material, that stiffer feel, a little heavier. They now also have this new lever lock, which is really, really awesome. So you don't have to carry an Allen wrench around, so you can just take the lever, adjust quickly as needed, readjust. That I thought was really unique, really cool. My first paddle was a lever lock as well. I thought it was really cool. It also came with a grip. It is a removable grip. It is not on this paddle because I have removed it after doing some paddling. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But first impressions, feels really well. Love the look and feel of the shaft here. Lever lock option. I thought this was really cool. I'm really excited to try this and give you my feedback on that as well. So that was kind of my first impressions. I thought that was from just kind of looking at that. So also myself, Ray, and a friend of ours, Andy, had an opportunity to actually paddle this. You're going to see some footage of us paddling on our outrigger canoes. We didn't capture any footage on the Dragon Boat, but we had some of our paddling friends and ourselves kind of try out on the Dragon Boat as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So we're going to just dive right into it. So let's talk about, Ray, your experience with paddling this guy in your outrigger canoe after having, I don't know how many paddles you've had now. 2, 3?
Oh, man. Are we counting canoe paddles as well, or just Dragon Boat paddles?
Sure.
Okay, Dragon Boat paddles, I think I've paddled with at least 5 different brands of Dragon Boat paddles. But my tried and true for years has been my original Sting paddle, and we can pull that one up as well. This is
that koi fish.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely love how, I know I keep saying this, but it's one of my favorite things about Hornet Watersports as a brand is how they really allow you to show your individuality with your paddle. So yeah, the first thing I noticed as I started paddling with this, and you'll see that there's some footage of me in my outrigger canoe for my first look with this paddle. I noticed immediately what I had noticed during the first look, which is that it is quite a stiff blade. So it took me a bit of time to kind of figure out my catch, but once I did, it really allowed me to kind of build up that wall behind the blade with no flexation or anything, and kind of carry that all throughout the stroke. So I found that this paddle immediately is allowing me to have quite a powerful stroke while still being light enough to not feel like, you know, I was flinging a weight every time I tried to recover. I did notice that the grip that is no longer on the paddle was creating some extra resistance in the water. I think this is a note that we had gotten from quite a few paddlers. So after removing that grip, that kind of resistance definitely went down quite a bit. And also found that when this shaft gets wet, it is still extremely easy to grip it. I do not feel like you need any sort of gloves or additional grip tape or anything. In contrast to the original Sting paddle, which is a much glossier, slippery finish, I find that when I don't have grip on that, my hand will just kind of shoot all the way up.
That happened to anybody? You guys let us know down in the comments.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time with my old paddles where I hit the water and no grip, no anything, just it comes all the way
Yeah,
through.
but no longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of an opinion that I shared differently from Jeff here. I'm a big fan of the grip of this paddle. I find that it fits my hand well. It really allows me to kind of go into that drive that feels good for my wrist and for my body. So yeah, overall positive experience with this paddle. I think I just need a bit more time with it in order to really figure out how it wants to catch, as they did upgrade their edge here a little bit. So it does feel different from the original Sting paddle.
I think like any paddle that I try nowadays, I don't know, 8, 10. I don't remember how many paddles I've purchased. That's between Dragon Boat and Outrigger canoe paddles now. But there's always like a certain feel that I'm looking for, whether that be the heft, the weight, the grip of the handle. Do I get that instant catch? Can I find that connection? How quickly can I find that connection? This one, it took me a little bit just like any other paddle. But once I found it, I didn't want to let it go. So that the material and it being a little bit heavier and a little bit stiffer really helped me get that boat to surge and propel. But the one thing that I think Ray kind of had mentioned is I had to remove the grip. Once I removed that grip, the paddling style that we have, we do bury that blade quite a bit, where the grip itself was kind of getting buried in as well, and when it did that, I think it created some resistance that I didn't quite like.
Just like an inch or two.
Yeah, just like an inch or two. But I think like I was like, I think I can find a little better connection. So removing the removable grip, it felt amazing. Putting it in the water, paddling through it, it was awesome. I felt even with it being a little heavier, the feathering was completely fine. The blade paddles beautifully. It was great. My only thing was differing is that lever lock. Just wasn't a fan of that. If you've not tried it, I do highly recommend you finding a friend, hopefully if they have one, try it out. If you are a fan of the original handle grip that they have, that is available on their non-lever lock version. It's on the one with the Allen wrench that's also adjustable as well. Something that I completely forgot to mention, Hornet now only has the adjustable options. There's the lever lock and there's the one with the Allen wrench on there. They don't have the fixed one. This old one with the koi fish is a fixed blade. They don't have that anymore. But I think this is a really, really good option for Hornet. And I think this is another huge pro for these blades now, because if you're a brand new paddler and you're not 100% sure, if you, like us, switch from dragon boating into outrigger canoe and different canoes, depending on how you sit and where you are, you might want to change the length of your blade, and having a fixed one, you might be kind of SOL, right?
Yeah.
So,
or have to borrow a friend's paddle or something like that. Also, I find that depending on what bench I'm sitting in Dragon Boat, I will need a slightly different length and paddle. So it's advantageous to have a paddle that you can just kind of quickly shorten it or lengthen it by an inch or two on the fly.
Yeah. Our friend Andy also, he kind of had mentioned, had the same thing. It took a little bit to get it, but it was pretty quick. The learning curve was pretty quick to just kind of transition, find that catch, find that connection with the blade. And it's a great little blade. I think Hornet has done a fantastic job, and it's a great upgrade to the Sting that they had before. I do not want to undersell this right here. The shaft and the handle here, there is not a lot of blades out there that I find that does not require a grip or gloves. Once I remove this grip, this shaft here is amazing, very comfortable. I feel like I can really paddle with this for a very, very long time and not requiring that grip, that extra grip.
It's everything that worked well from the old Sting paddle. There's the affordability, the beauty of the paddle itself, and then they've managed to find little places to elevate it, even though you are extremely constrained with the Dragon Boat paddle on what you can actually change.
Right.
Yeah, because the IDBF is very strict on the specifications of what a Dragon Boat paddle should be.
Well, and I think that kind of goes into our final thoughts, right? A little bit. We wanted to answer the question, who is this paddle for, right? Who is this best for? If this is your first time, as I said, maybe like you're envious of your friends that have upgraded and you're still using a wooden paddle. Nothing wrong with the wooden paddle, by the way. But if you wanted to kind of take it to the next level, you wanted to express yourself a little bit, there's so many different designs and options, which is really awesome. You're gonna notice when you first look at it, there's the price ranges for paddles is huge. It's huge. But with that in mind, right, is this worth your money? We say yes. I think this is a great upgrade for a paddler upgrading from a wooden paddle, especially with the adjustable options for you to kind of play around, test a little bit. I think this is great for that.
Especially because as a full carbon fiber paddle, this is still a bit of a heavier paddle. So it kind of helps with that transition if you're used to a heavy wooden or composite paddle, to go to a carbon fiber paddle that isn't like feather light. You still have that connection that you need and that you're used to in the water.
I want to make sure that we, again, thank Hornet for sending out these paddles for us to test out and try out. I do want to ask you guys back at home, you guys watching this, take a look and let us know. If you have this Sting Plus, what do you think about it? Have you tried it? Do you like the lever lock? Do you not like the lever lock? What have you tried? Have you had a Hornet paddle before? What are other paddles that you have tried that you love? What do you look for, right? Are you like me? It takes a little bit of time. You're looking for a specific kind of feel when you're in the water. You let us know down in the comments down below.
And be sure to subscribe and watch for any future paddle reviews that we may do. We're always looking to, get Jeff his paddle addiction with his need to always try out new paddles.
What?
So
No.
we're going to get you that fix, and we'll make a video reviewing it while we're at it. So let us know if there's any particular paddles you want us to try out.
Please do it. Thank you guys very, very much. We will see you next time. Take care.
Bye.